All right, we're going to talk about the apply now. So the table shows the approximate number of international visitors to the United States from several countries for July and August of a recent year. Which country had the greatest percent of change in the approximate number of visitors from July to August? So we're looking at our visitors in July, and then we're going to compare them to our visitors in August. So first, let's figure out. It's asking which country had the greatest percent of change. So the greatest percent of change, meaning the greatest amount of change. So make sure you understand exactly what the question has to answer. Maybe we should read it again. The idea is when we look at Canada, we have 2.09 times 10 to the power of 6, and then they went to 2.43 times 10 to the power of 6. So let's highlight everything that stayed the same. So everything that stayed the same was our 10 to the power of 6. Same thing happened in Mexico, 10 to the power of 6. Those stayed the same. United Kingdom, 10 to the power of 5. That stayed the same. 10 to the power of 5, 10 to the power of 5. Both of those stayed the same. And so now let's look at what is different. So what is different? I'm actually going to underline that. So we go from this number to this number, this one to this one, this one to this one, and then this one to this one. So it looks like they all increase. We go from 2.09 to 2.43, 1.55 to 1.63. Looks like they're all increasing. So let's figure out what the difference is. So let's see. Canada. What is the difference between 2.43 and 2.09? So when we're talking about difference, we're talking about subtraction. So we take this number, we subtract them from each other. We should get, let's see, 3, so 0.34. So the difference for Canada is 0.34. Let's now look at Mexico. So Mexico is 1.55, and I should actually put that number underneath 1.66, or 1.63 minus 1.55. So now we should get, let's see, 8, and that's going to be 0. So the difference for Mexico is 0.08. And the idea is we're looking at the greatest percent of change. So we're seeing who changes the most. So now let's look at United Kingdom, 4.2 and 4.9. That's an easy difference of 0.0, or not 0.0, 0.7, because 7 plus 2 is 9. Then we have Japan, which is 3.05 and 3.90 or 9. So for Japan, I'm going to write this up here. We have 3.90 because we always want to fill in the same amount of place values after the decimals we have. So then we get, it should be an 8. So we get 0.85. So which one had the largest increase in visitors? Looking at these numbers here, that tells me that it's Japan. They had an increase of 0.85 times 10 to the power of 5. Oh no, I can't just look at that number. What else do I have to look at? No, because it's just asking the greatest percent of change. So it doesn't matter how many people, it matters how many in relation to the people that were already there. So we are just looking at the difference. So let's check our answer. Let's see what we get. We do get Japan. And now it's your turn to try. Now that you've tried it, the approximate attendance and average ticket price for 4 Major League Baseball teams for a recent year is shown in this table. So we have Los Angeles Angels, the Miami Marlins, the Pittsburgh Pirates, and the St. Louis Cardinals. So it's asking which team had the most revenue from ticket sales. Oh, but look at these numbers. Some of them are in scientific notation, some of them aren't. So what do we think our first step should be? So we're trying to figure out most revenue. Would it be easier to do it in scientific notation or standard form? So I think it'd be easier to go from standard form into scientific notation. And that might help us to compare and figure out which team had the most revenue from ticket sales. So we're actually going to look at, so revenue from ticket sales means we have to take our attendance and add it or multiply it. No, add it. We have to take our attendance and multiply it by our ticket price, because that's going to tell us for every person how much did they pay and then what was the total. So this is going to give us our total. So we're going to do attendance. I'm going to write it down here. Attendance times our ticket price to get our total revenue from ticket sales. So what we have to do is now multiply. We're multiplying these two numbers here, same thing here, here, and here. If you don't know how to put the numbers into your calculator as this number right here, you're going to plug in 1.71 multiplied by, and then you're going to have 10 to the power of 6. If you don't know how to put that into your calculator, maybe it would be better for us to go from scientific notation into standard form. So that tells us that if we have 1.71 times 10 to the power of 6, that tells us we're taking 1.71 and we're taking this decimal and we're moving it to the right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let's double check that. I'm going to get a different color. We started with it here. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this number is going to be 171,000,000. So 1,710,000. And then we're going to multiply that by 28.31. And then you're going to do the same thing for the St. Louis Cardinals. We're going to have to take this number, and it's going to be similar to the number we just made, 3.44. Since it's times 10 to the power of 6, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that means I have 4 zeros. So I have 3, 4, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. All right, so when I do all of this, we need to figure out what we get. After plugging it into the calculator, you should have these total prices on the right hand. You should have these total prices on the right hand side. And let's check our answer. So we're trying to figure out the most revenue. So it looks like the St. Louis Cardinals. Let's see if that's our answer. And it is the St. Louis Cardinals. So this required a lot of work and a lot of thought. If you struggled with this, make sure to ask questions in class.